just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Why don't you give me half the money you were going to bet? Then we'll go out back, I'll kick you in the nuts, and we'll call it a day.
Wild. Sounds of hockey.
It's a covenant cleanup.
Personal foul. Clipping.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 9 to noon radio presentation from an empty Tria rink in St. Paul. It's currently empty, but as the producer Nordo likes to say, this is the calm before the storm.
Said it for years.
9 to noon is here today at Tria Rink for VOX in the Box due to the practicing finale before leaving for the Life Changer, Wild and Dallas Stars. Assumedly taking off Saturday, but the confirmation on start time still yet to be confirmed. But really the biggest problem we have right now for VOX in the Box into the postseason is Nordo did not wear his salmon shorts.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, but why? I mean, I don't, and I believe we're in lockstep with this.
Yep.
Don't believe in luck. Not a big karma guy.
Correct.
Not a big happenstance guy.
Correct.
But nevertheless, the Wild have a 72.5% postseason winning percentage when we do VOX in the Box into or during the postseason, and you wear your salmon shorts. Where are they?
Well, salmon shorts and flip-flops, that's just part of my fashion is motif, the right word to use. And
that's your style.
It has yielded positive results in the past. Here's the problem. Tria's a freaking refrigerator.
It's 2 degrees.
And it would get chilly at the X from time to time, now Grand Casino Arena. But
felt like Turks and Caicos when I parked and walked in. Now it's like Antarctica.
But since we've begun doing these shows here in the GM's perch, and we're very lucky for the opportunity to do it, they keep this thing as frigid as humanly possible.
Correct.
All day, every day.
Yeah, because we're about ready to put a chill over the Dallas Stars.
And as soon as we walk outside at 11:54, because it's going to be gorgeous today, apparently, it's going to jump back into Turks and Caicos mode. I couldn't sit here and hog Billy G's personal space heater that you take advantage of whenever we're here.
Oh, I'm good at hogging that.
If I was wearing the salmon shorts and the flip-flops.
Okay, so you're not willing to, at this stage of your life, with quickly growing children and, settling into the western suburbs, you just don't want to take one for the team anymore, do you?
I knew you were going the selfish route.
I mean,
yes.
look at my socks. I wore Christmas socks that portray the Christmas colors. In honor of said team, that's how excited I am.
I thought it was just because you dressed yourself today. I assume the clothes had been laid out for you on a daily basis.
We got to be honest, they do match the Brock's pants.
They do look terrific.
Thank
Absolutely.
Now, the game one is probably in 2 days at Dallas.
Yeah.
We still have no confirmation on a game one time. Question for Rube Nation listening to 9 to noon right now.
Wow, teams are still playing regular season games tonight.
Amazingly. Does that hinder road tripping Wild fans looking to head south? I mean, honestly, having no idea when game one begins?
Yeah.
Does that hinder your postseason fun? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're flying in the face of a lot of things transpiring economically, nationally right now, and you're like, hey, that last bonus I got was good. So I'm going to fly down to Dallas because this is my favorite team, and I'm going to plunk down X amount of dollars and get a couple of sweet seats behind the Wild bench. I'm going to pay those absurd fees of the Ticketmasters and the Axis and the StubHubs and things like that, and I'm going to lay on the proverbial sword for my favorite team, but I have no idea when it starts, and I have no idea when to book the flight to come back. It's like, do I leave Friday, come home Saturday night? Do I leave Friday, come home Sunday morning? Do I leave Saturday, come home Sunday night? Do I leave Sunday and come home Monday morning? Figuring out when this thing starts is the A topic for 9 to noon until it's not. In fact, there are 5 things easier to accomplish in the world than figuring out the start time to Game 1 between the Wild and the Dallas Stars. To wit, number 1, Rudy Gobert leading the NBA in three-point makes. Number 2, Kawhi Leonard executing and leading a conversation. Number 3, attempting to read with your eyes closed. The 4th easier thing to accomplish in worldly fashion than figuring out the Game 1 start time for Wild and Stars, to receive a handwritten letter from somebody from this generation actually written in cursive. And number 5, keeping Royce Lewis healthy.
Yeah.
Those are the 5 things that are easier to accomplish than learning of the Wild Stars Game 1 puck drop time. But onward. Box in the Box goes like this today. Practice is at 11 o'clock with the guys. All the guys will be out there. Practice at 11 o'clock. Final practice. Then there they go. They head south, deep in the heart of Texas. So you got us now. After that, you got Hynes, then Carts, then some draft stuff, then Used and Nord, then Russo Radio, then Billy G, 11:05. After that, KG, from Billy G to KG, from Billy G to KG. And we think we're closing with the post game. We are here to say goodbye to our beloved Christmas colors and to send them away to the heart of Texas with wind in their sails and joy in their hearts. 9 to noon is here to remind them to eliminate the noise in the age of rage. And by the way, guys, if you need pointers, please consult me because I earned a master's for which I didn't ask in that class. Okay, 3-2. The symbolic vuvuzelas being blown in the eardrums of Gus Bus right now would pop anybody's eardrum. 25 goals against in the last 6. But that was that season. This is a new season for beloved Gus Bus. You're important, do your thing. Hartsey, stay hot. 97, steal the show. Husey, stay in one piece. Zuki, stay smooth. Moose, the Moose. The Moose is on fire. With your brother Nick. Moose and Nick, beat 'em up. But that might send us to the box, and their power play is quite good. But so is ours. Moose and Nick, beat them up. Boldy, bewilder them. Bewilder them, Matt Boldy. We would love to tell you when they'll return, but securing any part of the NHL postseason schedule is akin to getting a straw to pierce and go all the way through a raw potato. And just think about that. It's analogous if you really think it out.
I mean, I'm not trying to spend people's money, but I think, and I got a text from somebody. They said they've had a flight on the books for 2 months. Mm-hmm. They just need to find out when the freaking game is. And
yeah,
I know we're all
way to care about your fans, Sicky.
We're all it is. Yes, it's all angry mail should be directed to Aaron Sickman.
Always.
But I know we're all in the economic or the financial never-ending journey to the middle. Mm-hmm. But for this one, it almost feels like get to Delta. Fly out Friday.
Yeah, I'm sure those prices are good.
Return on Tuesday. So you have a window of potentially going to Game 1 and Game 2 down there.
Yeah.
And just make a vacation out of it.
No doubt.
I hope your tax returns were good.
No doubt.
Just show up to Dallas, find something to do. You give yourself that Friday to Tuesday window.
There you go.
You're going to get at least one and maybe both of the first 2 games in Dallas.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Nordo likes to say, this is our ice.
This is our ice, house.
We have unfinished business. This is their house, but we're going to make it our house.
Bring it home.
We are the state of hockey. Our grandmothers drive Zambonis. They took your team. Now take their dream. Here's the call.
I have goosebumps.
Wild in 6. Let's go. Wild in 6. Nobody can hear us. That's why we're doing it so loudly. We do have some Jesper Wallstedt minutia that we will share during the course of the radio show today, but I'll just leave this here for you right now. He did not play against the Dallas Stars this year. He's never played in a playoff game, and his only game against the Dallas Stars took place January 10th of 2024, and he gave up 7 goals.
Was that his debut?
Might have been his debut. Gave up 7 goals. All right, but that was 2024. This is 2026.
Long time ago. People grow. People change.
TimberTech, timbertech.com. Thank you very much for the What's on Deck 9 to noon, which includes Hynes. Head coach of the Minnesota Wild, John Hynes, joins 9 to noon for a VOX in the Box from the capital city of St. Paul when we return to your favorite radio station, FM 100.3 KFAN.
The Fan.
Try to center, that's blocked, and that is going to do it. The Minnesota Wild win their season finale. Jesper Wallstedt, simply sensational. 34 saves in a 3-2 Wild victory. It's his 12th of the year, and the Wild have tied this game at 1.
Well, looky here, ladies and gentlemen. It is John Hynes, coach of the Minnesota Wild, and the Wild and Stars start this weekend. Good morning, Coach. Thank you for the time.
Good morning. Great to be here with you.
It's awesome. It's fantastic. It's so tranquil and serene in here right now. Practice begins at 11. Normally it begins around 10, and got some people buzzing around generally, but this is nice and peaceful. How excited are you right now?
Really excited. It's best time of year. You know, it's been a long 82-game stretch, 8 months, and good regular season, and now all the fun starts.
Do you permit yourself to become excited, or is everything neutral zone, trap this, stay out of the box that?
No, you have to be able to enjoy it. I think, yesterday, when everyone woke up and the regular season was over, you're excited. We had a good prep day yesterday, so we'll present some things to the guys and enjoy it. I think the one thing is there's certain things that you want to do versus Dallas, but we've gone together. It's different than training camp, right? Our game, we know what it is, we know what it looks like. It's just touching on some key topics.
How much do the 4 regular season games you guys play matter in a scenario like this?
Well, they do matter because you do get information of your team against their team. Now, there's a different level of intensity and emotion and things like that when you get into the playoff games. But as far as I think a tactical standpoint, it is beneficial.
Hold on, Aaron. You're going to like this one. No, hold on, Aaron. Hold on. I don't know if you said it earlier or not. I'm wondering. Maybe I missed it. What time does Game 1 start again?
We're not sure yet. That's on Sicky.
Yeah. And you know what? I probably shouldn't have asked that because I don't want to make you lie to the public.
Yeah.
But you guys, okay. You have to know at least. Okay. Anyway, 3-2. There's an age-old adage that defense wins championships, and in my humble estimation, you're better on the back end than them. Is it really that easy?
No, it's not. It's defense wins championships. As it's I think the commitment to defend, the structure you play with, getting good goaltending. Obviously having a good defense core like we do, but defense is really a 5-man thing. It's also your forwards making sure that they're doing their job as well.
Do you expect, or like with the past performances with Dallas, do they play Ottinger every game? Is that an every game thing?
They play him the majority of the games. I don't know what they'll do in the playoffs. I think in the past couple of years they have played Ottinger every game, but we'll see how it plays out.
Is Mikko Rantanen when they traded for him last year, and wow, holy cow, he must have felt so good bouncing the Avs in that first playoff series. Obviously a tough customer, but you're going to have a lot of new eyeballs on TVs and ears on radio when the postseason begins. So with Rantanen, is he one of those net front bullies who does damage in the crease, and how does one slow him?
Yeah, he's a big, strong power forward that he has an excellent shot, good skill, but he's a lot to handle down below the goal line, in and around the net front. He can hang on the pucks. He's got a big body. He's got a lethal shot, but he does get into the net front areas, and he's a lot to contain there.
When preparing, I guess it would be for games, but these are different games, postseason games. What's the balance between focusing on them and trying to expose their weaknesses as opposed to making sure everything is squared away with you?
Yeah, I think it's always trying to play to your strengths, and I think it's pointing out, when you're playing to your strengths, what that looks like against whatever opponent you're going to play. So, but you are, when you get in a playoff series, the nuances of the game certainly play out. I think you're aware of those things, and you prep that prior to game one, and then usually as the series goes on, there's a little bit more tinkering going on.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that's a sweet sweatshirt. You got 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs. You got Lord Stanley Cup up by your right shoulder, the Wild logo. Well, that thing is nice. They selling those at the pro shop?
I don't know if they're selling them. It just was on my desk yesterday, so
that's pretty nice.
To put it on.
John Hynes, coach of the Minnesota Wild, with a 9 to noon to begin festivities. How, Coach Hynes, how in tune with analytics lingo are you? Like, analytics, they're probably all over you with it, but like the lingo of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar.
Right.
I think it always goes different. Different ways. I think with analytics, a lot of it is what you value, and there's a wealth of information. I think you have to narrow it down to what you think is important.
Okay, then maybe you can help 9 to noon in the listening audience with this, which I pilfered from The Athletic and a Michael Russo. Excellent series preview, by the way. Since the Olympic break, you guys are third best in the NHL in expected goal suppression. Expected goal suppression. The rate is 2.41 per 60 minutes and 5-on-5. What's that?
Well, I think it depends. I take some of that as the exact. That's what I'm saying. There's so many different stats that go on. I would say expected goal suppression is when there's you're playing well defensively, and I think when you're in situations where there's going to be an expected goal, we've done a good job. We've gotten saves, or we've gotten sticks on pucks and things like that.
So that plays into defense wins championships.
There you go. That goes back to that saying.
Wow, expected goal suppression. Who knew? You gave some guys some time off. In what way should that help when you begin Saturday at 4, Saturday at 5 when you begin this weekend?
Well, I think it's one is
yes.
Those guys are fresh and hungry and feel good, and we have a couple days of practice here. So I just think for them to have a little bit of a mental break sometimes when you don't have the game load and the game the whole game day routine and things like that, it just freshens some guys up, and I know they're excited to get back on the ice and get going.
Now, practice begins at 11 o'clock today, too. Then the Wild takes off shortly after that. You get down to Dallas, settle in, and let the guys be the guys. And then the next day, what do you do Friday, like before a game expected to be on Saturday?
Friday we'll practice. We'll have some meetings this morning, and we'll have a good practice today, and then we chunked it, basically two days, and then tomorrow we'll have another prep meeting, and then we'll practice in Dallas, and then ready to go on Saturday.
How with Gustafson? How do you analyze beloved Gus Bus? Won 28 of his 43 starts this year, but clearly has been on the wrong side of some goals the last 6. So, how do you get him right?
Well, it's really a combination. It's Gus is a heck of a goaltender. He's been a backstop for us all year long. He's got great experience, but it's also us, Freddie Shabbat, myself, working with Gus and making sure he puts some good practice in. And usually when someone's game, it's no different than if a forward is playing, but maybe they're not scoring, but is their game in order? And I think just with Gus, it's just go back to the roots, his identity as a goalie, what makes him good. Let's practice some of those things. We'll have some game-like intensity in practice the next couple days, which usually helps goaltenders because they're in game-like situations. So that's the plan.
Freddie Shabbat's the goalie coach, right?
Correct.
So does like Shabbat or you or Billy G or like teammates or anything, like do they have side conversations with him, kind of like the pat on the back, like, man, you're really good, you're going to be okay?
Yeah, for sure. It's like I said, it happens to every player on the team, right? And we have good players, we have a good team. Guys care about each other, we care about the guys, and it's just that's part of what you do over the course of a long season like this. There's some ups and downs and highs and lows, and you just don't get too low when it's not going your way, and you can't get too high when it's going really, really well.
Hey, John, for you or as coaches, maybe even players too, but is not overthinking things like paralysis by overanalysis, is that something against which you guys have to guard this time of the year?
Yeah. You certainly do. You want to be able to stick with your routines. You want to stick with your mindset, and it's the game. You want to do what we do all the time. It's why we work the way we do. You want to be prepared. You want to have good practices. You want to have strong meetings. You want the players to be ready to play. The guys want to go out and execute and play at a high level. And, ultimately that's what it's going to come down to. So, yes, I think you want to just continue your decision making and how you go about your business regardless of the circumstances.
So like the reason I asked is Volstad, while he, hasn't played Dallas since his debut January of 2024, he hasn't played a playoff game. It's like, how do you factor that into the equation when you're thinking about those two?
Well, it's, like you said, you don't overthink things. I mean, one thing is if experience is on your side, you say it matters. If experience isn't on your side, you say it doesn't matter. Wally's a very different goaltender. He's at a very different point in his career right now. He's gone through some tough times. He's rebounded. He's had a very good year. He's a much more experienced goaltender. He's got a much stronger team playing in front of him than he did the last time, in Dallas. And I think that's so far in the past that so many things have transpired between that and now. It doesn't make any difference.
When you guys beat Dallas in overtime here, it was Tarasenko who scored the game winner, right? That was one of several games they've had since the Olympic break without Roope Hintz. And I was watching the game. I was just like, these guys are vibe suckers. They just try to suck the vibe out of road arenas with the way they play. It just seems to be methodical and schematically sound, and then you or schematically slow at times. But then you read into the importance of Hynes. And without him leading their rush, without him getting them out of their zone and getting them going, how differently do they play?
Well, they do play the same way. I mean, they have a lot of good players. I think when you look at a guy like Hynes, he's an elite player on their team. So, when he's out of the lineup, it's his speed, it's his offense, it's his competitiveness. It's really the player. It's not so much that Dallas plays a different style. I mean, they're a heck of a team. They got 50 wins this year. So when you look at that, and he hasn't been in the lineup, he's just a good player that you have to make sure that you're aware of, when he's on the ice and then what he does. But in general, they got a lot of depth there too.
A couple of quickies to close here for John Hynes, head coach of the Minnesota Wild. The last game against Dallas a couple of Thursdays ago or whatever, quite chippy and quite physical. What's the preach with not submitting but not having like a carousel to the penalty box?
Yeah, that it's not something you just turn on and turn off in the playoffs. We're one of the least penalized teams in the league, yet we play a really hard physical brand of hockey, and it's just it's playing our game. It's having stick discipline. It's making sure that, when you're hitting, you're arriving on time. When the puck's there, you're separating man from the puck. It's making sure when you get into scrums that there's not a retaliatory situation for you. You may have to take a punch or you may have to take a hit in those situations. It's just discipline, and that's something that over the last couple of years, we've really taken strides in that area, and we're coming into the playoffs, confident in our penalty discipline because it's who we are.
Should it be expected, or do you think you guys have a team speed advantage compared to them?
Well, you have to play that way, right? I mean, when you talk about team speed, there's different elements that go into that. It's how fast, are you willing skaters? Are we playing the game quick? Are we moving our feet? Are we moving the puck quick? Are we playing a North game? When you're doing those things, we are a fast team, but you have to put that game on the ice.
What are a couple of absolute keys to you guys advancing past the Dallas Stars?
Well, I think really coming in and playing to our identity and being very consistent in that. I think that's an important part. Whether things go, there's going to be times in the game where it's going really well for you. They may score a goal, they may get momentum. I think it's the focus and the consistency level in our play, regardless of what the game circumstances are going to be. I think special teams will be a big factor in the series, and then I think those two. The first answer is kind of all-encompassing, and then I think you have this, I would say, special teams and special situations. Power play, penalty kill, 4-on-4, 5-on-6, 6-on-5, those types of situations.
And with special teams, correct me if I'm wrong here, I looked at it 2 days ago, but like power play is almost a push, is like 2 and 3, and penalty kill's kind of the same too. You guys are kind of analogous or kind of the same there, right?
Yeah. There's I think when you look at the numbers in a lot of different areas, they're very similar for the most part, and all those stats are great coming in, but it's about where we are now and then what we're going to do in this series starting on Saturday.
Lastly, who'd you say gets the net Saturday, and what time is the game?
I got to go. It's time for a meeting.
Good seeing you, bud.
All right.
God bless you, man.
All right.
We'll talk to you next week. John Hynes, coach of the Minnesota Wild. Wild and Dallas Stars. You can listen to that game on KFAN Saturday at 2:00, 4:00, 5:00, maybe 9 o'clock. But you know what? Today's the final day of the NHL regular season, so undoubtedly, following tonight's games, I would expect tonight, if not early tomorrow, the entire National Hockey League postseason schedule will be unfurled, and of course, we will have most, if not all, of those games for you at FM 100.3 KFAN. Nordo is with yours truly, Paul Allen, at Trier Rink in St. Paul for a VOX in the Box presentation. Your favorite hockey team, the Minnesota Wild, skates at 11 o'clock. All the guys are going to be on the ice. The guys on the ice for the final practice before we say goodbye to our Wild. They fly out today. They have a practice tomorrow. They skate on Saturday, and then that's when the postseason will begin against the Dallas Stars. Brett Blakemore is guiding the Great Ship Love Covenant back at FM 100.3 KFAN, and when we return, a former National Hockey League forward, somebody who played like 45 postseason games, and an analyst for FanDuel. He works with the heir apparent. Ryan Carter will join us next.
The Fan welcomes some great shows to Grand Casino Arena this year, including Lionel Richie, Earth, Wind, and Fire, June 24th. Tickets are on sale now. You can get all the details on all of our upcoming shows on the concert page, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Ryan Carter with FanDuel played in a couple of Stanley Cups and also 46 postseason games. He assumedly will be analyzing the Wild and Stars on FanDuel with the heir apparent, and he's nice enough to join us now for a VOX in the Box. Before we become your elite forechecking leader, let's become your elite undulation leader. How was the Masters? And the only reason I know you were at the Masters is because we were here last week, and Alex Stalock was sitting in the cart spot, and Alex said Ryan's at Augusta. How was it?
It's great. It's great.
First time?
April's the best time of year because playoff hockey starts and because playoff hockey follows the Masters.
First time in Augusta?
No, I've been going for, probably a half a dozen years now.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Well, how you swing that?
A group of buddies kind of got together, and now it's just kind of an annual thing. So it works out. There's a house that's rented, and you can kind of pop down and figure out the days that you can get there and get on the grounds. And so it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. And the more we go, the more we kind of figure out the right way to do it.
And what is the right way?
Well, it used to be John Daly's Hooters on Wednesday.
You mean the actual restaurant and not the sternum?
But that got closed down. No, but so that was fun. But there are parties like off the grounds. This year we went to Augusta After Dark, which was hosted by DraftKings and Sports Illustrated. Nice little party with David Grohl performing.
Wow.
Yeah, so snuck into that party. That was a lot of fun. So
he was like doing an acoustic show with like a guitar and a microphone?
You got it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That'd be unbelievable.
The bomb.
It was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. That stuff, and then you couple it with the golf. So it's like you have a great time.
Well, it's elite.
People. Yeah, and everybody's in town. And
sounds like a great family vacation without the kids.
Exactly.
So are you one of the, I'm going to get there at daybreak and I'm going to sit on the turn.
The best.
And I'm going to stay in the same spot to watch as many of the golfers as possible. I mean, I imagine at some point there's a mad dash. I don't know how they organize all those people where it's like you get stuck at a bad spot on the fourth. You can't see anything. So how do you guys navigate that?
And I look for you on TV the whole weekend.
Yeah. I suffer from this disease. It's called first night-itis. I have a great time the first night we get there.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So
and then you miss the whole first round.
I have the grandest of plans to be there first thing in the morning. My wife wants a gnome from the store.
Yeah.
And you've got to be there. You know, I don't know if you've seen on these gnomes, but they're popular. Everybody wants to get one. There's a limited amount.
Like a yard gnome?
Yeah.
Well, what is it? I mean, is it a golfer or what?
It's a collectible yard gnome. The one from 2016, which was the first one, I think they'd maybe go for like $80 in the clubhouse. Mm-hmm. And then there's one for sale on eBay for like $10,000. So everybody like wants these garden gnomes.
Does it matter what the results are? For instance, like Rory getting his first one a year ago, does that mean that this lawn gnome would be more expensive than...
Yeah, like 2019 Tigers would be the most.
2019 would... Oh, yeah.
So if you get a bevy of golfers to sign that gnome, you put that thing on the eBay machine, it's not a gnome, it's supplemental income, right?
You got it.
Oh, wow. You got this whole thing figured out.
So I didn't get a gnome. To get a gnome, you got to be first in line, like Nora was saying.
You slept in a little
the gates
bit.
open at 7:30, and you got to be ready to go. And then you're there with the people that do the chair thing, and they run out and they get their spot right on the front rope. And, there's that great rule at the Masters where, and some people do this, they run out, they put their chairs down where they want them, and they're allowed to do that. But then, as long as somebody sees an empty chair, they can sit in that chair.
Oh,
and then it's just on honor. Or you're being polite. Yeah, they just come back up and be like, hey, these are my chairs. Then you let them sit back in their chair.
That
they
can't
don't want
possibly work the right way every time.
I bet it works the right way most of the time.
It works the right way all the time.
So do you find the
out
whole...
of respect.
You got to almost, like, I would plan this trip, and maybe you're like me, maybe you're not. Like, I would want to know, okay, this is where it always, they always fade it right. Where they find the trees the most, I want to stand there. Maybe
best chance to get on TV.
Best chance to be one of the guys that gets to point at the ball in the rough behind the tree. There it is, and then I get to be part of the line with the employee, like, all right, back up, everybody. Yeah. Give Rom some room. I want to be one of those guys.
Yeah, that is fun. And there's a couple different experiences, too, where you sit down and you just watch everybody come through.
Yeah.
And you can be on the ropes. There's other spots where there's stands, so you can see a couple of holes. A lot of times, if you're on the ropes, people will congregate behind you, too, so you really have a limited view of just what's in front of you. Mm-hmm. And then there's walking, like where you'll follow a group. And that's where you can kind of see and point to the ball all the time. Like a couple of years ago, we followed Rory, and he hit one into the pine straw, and we were like right behind, and we were doing the old get on the camera here, like, hey, Mom.
Did you see that the amateur, the kid from Georgia, who was with
it Howell or something?
Yeah, Howell, Mason Howell or something. Did you have to get a chance to be next to him or see him or anything? The reason I ask is because commentators and everything are like, this is a little shaky for him here, but got to start somewhere. They put him with Cameron Young and Rory McIlroy to begin his Masters career. How nervous was that kid?
He was nervous, I would assume.
Yeah.
Gosh, can you imagine? Yeah, I'm just going to tee off right before Rory and Cam Young right now. No, that would be...
And, of course, his first one went into the woods.
You're not a get-in-the-hole guy, are you?
No, gosh,
thank
no.
goodness.
Do you yell anything?
No.
Yeah, I know.
I usually have a pimento cheese sandwich in my mouth. I can't yell anything.
What about dressing up? You guys all wear like mock green jackets or
it's
cool
shoes?
Hats?
Mostly shoes. We'll go wild with the shoes.
Those green Nikes are phenomenal. Happy St. Pat's Day to Carts.
That's where we go bananas with the shoes a little bit.
Did you find yourself while at the Masters having separation anxiety from your phone?
Oh man, you don't know how much you're attached to that thing until you're forced to be without it.
I felt for you.
So many times where it's like, oh, I want to take a photo of.
Yep.
Oh, I don't have a camera.
Yep.
Or you're like, oh my gosh, I got to text somebody. They'd love this. Oh, you don't have your phone. Like and then even just the logistics. You have to communicate like verbally with your friends so well, because if you get lost, you need to have a plan. Usually you're just like, I'll call you, I'll text you, like, where are you at?
Yeah.
You can't find anybody.
Wow.
Do Kodak one-time use cameras still exist? And can you bring something like that?
You can on the practice round.
Okay.
You can't during the tournament. Okay. So that's why Wednesday is a very popular day, and you'll see a lot of people because they can even bring like their DSLR.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah, on Wednesday.
On Wednesday. All right.
Yeah. Well, can you like say it's you're by the fourth hole or whatever, still a lot of the day left. Can you go get your phone, like look at it, and then go back to your spot?
Your badge has 2 entries, so you have to check it. One, so no phones on grounds. You could check it outside with a security booth. Then you'd have to leave the Masters and then come back in. So then you'd get your second entry.
Man.
The way a lot of those badges or tickets work is you're sold a half day. So you wouldn't be able to go back out and come back in because that would negate the next person's ability to come back in.
So having a belief in humanity.
Yes.
Like Karts put his chair there by 7. Karch is gone for an hour with the pimento sandwiches and the shoes. Karch comes back and gets his chair.
Totally.
So you can't just, have that type of protocol or trust that turn your phones off and put them in your bags or in your back pocket and don't use them, or you will be eliminated from the tournament. They just don't trust people, right?
Well, no, there's no option. The security going into that place is second to none. Like, you can't sneak AirPods in there. Like, your Apple Watch is like, boom, done. Just because they're like,
down
nothing.
to the watch.
You can have nothing in your pocket other than like your wallet to pay for stuff.
I don't trust myself, man. I mean, if HOF is in the woods right next to me, I have to snap a photo. I can't. Think about how addicted we are to these things.
Well,
that we're talking about phone privileges during the Masters instead of just appreciating a Amen corner.
Yeah.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder because it also opens up avenues where it's like, honey, you know the rules, okay? I mean, meanwhile, you left after the 13th hole, and you and your dogs are out at that David Grohl party having a great time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like
Augusta before dark.
when you don't have to have your phone, then that opens a lot of arenas and avenues to just like have a good time and loosen up.
Yeah, totally.
I think that's sweet.
It is great.
Lastly, you were/are a professional athlete, and do you ever become amazed like the Georgia amateur Hal? I mean, he's a string bean. You look at his arms, you're like, how do you do that? That's unbelievable. Then you look at, I don't know, John Rahm, maybe, who's the guy, Shane Lowry, some of the other of the, let's say, paunchy variety. Do you ever look at these guys and, like, say, you're an athlete? What an athlete that is.
I don't. I look at them probably more and say, man, I'm jealous of the guys that don't look like athletes, and be like, they're just athletic. Like,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. And then I think it illustrates, like, you could, a lot of athletics, and they say, you've heard a lot of people say it's like 90% mental. The guys that can just mentally figure it out kind of tend to be good too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. When you look at some of these guys, like Tiger looked like an athlete, you know? And then Phil
Big
Mickelson
time.
maybe not
Rory.
not as much. Rory's
does. Cut.
Yeah, and Shane Lowry maybe doesn't. Right. But at the same time, this guy competes on the same playing field. That's why I think golf is so compelling for us
big time
now, is because you can be 20 and string bean, you can be 30 and an athlete, you can be 40 and overweight, and you can still be the best in the world.
Well, I mean, just think about where you can go with that, whether you're a professional or not. All right, you don't look like an athlete. They don't exactly, you're going to run into those who work for companies and they make a ton of cash and they want to win that shoe size contest, if you know what I mean, and they can hit the ball a mile. Well, then they roll into like Shane Lowry. I can beat you, and I'm going to put this amount of cash up. You and me at Hazeltine, man, we ain't going to tell anybody. Well, they generally, the person from 3M or wherever generally gets killed, right?
Right. Yeah. Totally. Like it's not about who can hit the ball the farthest. It's about like heart rate. Like Shane Lowry probably wants to see your aura reading. Like what your heart rate is. He knows he's got you.
Karch 9-0. 46 postseason games, couple of cups. How special is this time of the year?
It's the best. You play all year for it. You get paid to play during the regular season. This part is just for fun. This is why you do it. You endure the 82 to get a chance to play for this. This is where you earn legacy. This is where you get all the eyeballs of your family and everybody else rooting for you. I don't know. I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was the absolute best, and still covering it is exciting because you can just kind of see the intensity ramp up, the desire ramp up.
What are some advantages you absolutely feel the Wild should have in this series?
Good question. I think that they have a hunger, probably, that Dallas doesn't. Dallas has been to the West Final, so I think on one hand you can say that they're experienced and maybe have a little bit more than the Wild in terms of what it takes to close out a series. I think the Wild have that chip on their shoulder. We saw it in the game a couple of weeks ago against Dallas where they were right on top of them. I felt the Wild outplayed Dallas. They ended up dropping that game.
Yeah. When they were up 3-1, that one little sequence with the penalties, people lost their cool a little bit, then 3-2, 3-3. I mean, that's where it unraveled, right?
And what I saw was a group that just kind of looked polarized and knew kind of the mission and the goal. And they played well, and I think that they're confident. Like, I don't think that Dallas loss has any effect on their psyche or mentality going into this. In fact, I think it's the opposite. I think they felt like this worked out perfectly for us, that we outplayed them, they won, like they're now aware of what we're capable of and how we want to play, the style that they're going to play, and we'll see if Dallas then just doesn't probably try to counter that. And I think the Wild probably dictate terms with the way they played that game last Thursday.
So flip it. What advantages you're an elite hockey mind, does Dallas have that their fan base absolutely is counting on?
Well, and gosh, I like him. Good kid. And a great goaltender, Jake Ottinger. But I just don't think he's as good as built or has had the season that many are probably giving him credit for. Dallas came to town. Excuse me.
So is he considered one of the best in the NHL?
Yeah, and I think he's being celebrated as one. And he's good. Like, I'm not trying to take this away from him.
Yeah.
He's good, but he's not the top tier. He's not Sorokin, Hellebuck, Shesterkin,
Jack Greaves.
He's probably somewhere in like that next tier.
Yeah.
But so is Gus.
Right.
So is Wally right now. So Wally has the second best save percentage. Gus is above 900. The point I was going to make is Ottinger came to town, and that team had won like 12 straight or hadn't lost in 13, and that was his personal streak. He had an .898 save percentage over that time.
Yeah.
So that's league average.
Yeah,
that's
it's
league
below
average,
league average, I think.
And they had won. Yeah. They had won 13 straight games that he had played.
Wow, great point.
So they hadn't won it on goaltending. Now it looks sterling because it's like, oh wow, he won 12, 13 games in a row. And I think during that stretch there were a couple where he did win the game for them, but over the aggregate it wasn't. So I also look at some of the past playoff series. He obviously has experience. He knows how to elevate the game. But you look at some of the great ones, like they have a bad game, they know how to bounce back. Like Marc-Andre Fleury, you could see it in his demeanor. You could see it in the way he like he was ready to go the following day. Marty Brodeur was the same way. Like playoff hockey, you can see they carry themselves different in the response in the game. Like they weren't going to be beat. That's what made them great. Ottinger, I think, is still has to prove that he has the ability to do that when it matters. Like,
Amen.
Like win the game. I want to see it in your body language.
Right.
Hasn't done that yet. So with that, I think Dallas says like we got the better goaltender. I don't think that it's that much the case. Like Wally's been great. There's controversy here in town, obviously, on who's going to get the net game one. Wally's been great down the stretch, great option. I do subscribe to the theory that if you have two goaltenders, you really don't have one. I think it's so hard on a coach to be able to hit this right. Like look at what we're talking about right now.
Yep.
Who's the goalie going to be? It's such a distraction.
Right.
And then they feel so much pressure having to hit it. Go back to the Wild series against Vegas a couple years ago where Pete DeBoer had Leonard and Marc-Andre Fleury. He put Fleury in for Game 7, and Vegas was like losing their mind. They couldn't believe it. They had to pull Leonard. Like Pete DeBoer had to like lay it out there. All the risk. Actually, let's go Pete DeBoer last year. He pulled Ottinger late in that series, too, in the Edmonton series, and he lost his job.
Yeah.
Coaches know, like, if you got two goaltenders, like, it's a tough spot to be in. But the Wild...
Bro, that's such a good point.
The Wild do have two. It's tough. I think they'd love to pick a guy. That guy plays good, and they just go, all right, this is our guy for now.
Okay, well, that's perplexing. Because, I mean, Hynes clearly, in my estimation, set it up for Bus to start Game 1. I mean, he gets the St. Louis game. Wally gets the Anaheim game. Gus has playoff experience. Volstedt's never played in a postseason game. I would guess he set it up for Gustafsson, but over the last 6 games, Gus has given up more than 4 goals a game. It's perplexing.
I agree, and I actually would argue the opposite, that I don't know that they set it up for Gus, just because the way the game's played. Like Gus was in Nashville, then they went St. Louis, then Anaheim. I thought they should have gone, like, they should have alternated that and had Gus play like 2-3 games if he's the guy. Like, start setting him up to be a guy that might go 2, 3, 4 games in a row. Instead, they kept the rotation, so that surprised me a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's when I was looking at it, very similar statistically if you dig into the numbers. It's interesting, though, sometimes teams, maybe you see this and maybe I'm wrong, I feel like sometimes teams can play differently in front of a different goaltender. Does that make sense at all? Is that ever a thing in terms of, because I see with Volstedt, the numbers look terrific. I also see on Gus's end, we're winning those games. So it just feels like there's so much more to dig into than just saying that, Volstedt's got a 91%, Gus Bus has 92%. In terms of digging a little bit deeper into how the team operates in front of them.
Yeah, and you know what else? This coaching staff, got to give them credit. One thing that they do is look at the style of goals that a team scores. So they'll have done this deep dive. They're going to look at the style of goals that Dallas scores. They're not a rush team. They're like a zone cycle team, and then they're a power play, like couple spots. Gus is good at that. Wally's maybe a little bit better reading off the rush and making saves like that.
Ooh.
So I think that they've looked at that, and they factored that in. Like Wally's style and Gus's style are slightly different in what makes them good and when they have good games in terms of what they're facing. And Dallas in the past has kind of set up for Gus to be good against the kind of goals that they score.
Okay, so you say Dallas is not a rush team. But with Rupe Hintz, wasn't Dallas a better rush team?
Yeah.
I think this is a massive omission. I don't know how long he's not going to play. Might not be the series. Heiskanen might even make game one. But in reading stuff and talking to some hockey friends of mine about what they do, the problems he gets them out of when they're leaving their zone and the speed and just starting the rush and everything, I think it's a massive omission.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And it's not that Dallas isn't a rush team. They're actually a good counterattack team. But the Wild, I think, control the puck pretty well. And as long as Quinn Hughes does his thing, Favor's good, and they're not exposing themselves, you're right. Now, Hintz is one of those guys that flies. He pushes you back, he creates space, and he helps with the rush a little bit. He certainly does. So I don't want to say that Dallas isn't like a rush team, but they're one that can generate a little bit better in zone than some of these other opposition that they face. But not having Rupe Hintz is certainly a big factor. You hear it all the time. Center depth equals Stanley Cup. Dallas right now, without their number one centerman, it's like, and you hear it all the time, like, Eriksson Ek, is he a true number one centerman? The Wild don't have center depth.
Yeah.
Do they have enough offense
like
on
Mikko.
the flanks?
Mikko was a stone cold number one.
Yeah.
Koivu.
Yeah, and I think you could probably look at other teams in the league, too. Like L.A. when they won cups, it's Anze Kopitar.
Yeah.
Let's go to Chicago. It was Jonathan Taves. Like you have like your go-to guy that's going to get you point per game, can kill a penalty, can win a face-off, can do all those things. Eriksson Ek traditionally maybe is not regarded as that. And so center depth, they say, is correlated to winning. A lot of people say the Wild haven't had it, and we'll see if that the wings and the offense on the wings, the flanks can find a way to cover up for maybe not having as much offense on the middle.
Okay, so they got the kid Johnston, not really a kid anymore, but he's a centerman. Duchesne, fourth line, Falxa, something like that. Faxa, thank you. Okay, so clearly they have an omission there with Hintz. But do they, without Hintz, do they still, would it be league-wide considered, are they stronger up the middle than the Wild?
Yeah, I think so.
Still. Wow, even Eriksson being the two-way centerman that he is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Eriksson Ek, that is.
I think that's probably it. I think the other guys, the young guys that they've had fill in, have been pretty good for him, too. Yeah. And some of it might be Faxa is probably equivalent to like a McCarron, maybe a little bit better on the face-off circle, a little bit. Duchesne would be, Hartman, but with a little bit more offense if Duchesne's playing the middle. And then, they're guys, I think, right now, if you look at it on paper, the league would say that Dallas has the better center.
Is Duchesne still super fast?
Yeah, fast, skilled.
Holy cow.
Agile.
He's got to be nearing the end of his career, right?
I think he's one of those guys where he's been around since he's 18, so you feel like he's older than he is.
Yes.
Yeah. I think he's early 30s, probably 31.
What, given you played, nearly 50 postseason games and a couple of cups, like when this thing begins on Saturday, what is the difference for players between regular season and playoff hockey?
Well, I think the first round is usually determined by your bottom six. As much as you sit and talk about how good the top six are, a lot of their production in the first round of the playoffs comes on the power play. The guys that tend, I think, to win that first series is your bottom six, because the game turns into a grind where you got to put the puck in the corner, you got to win it, you got to go low to high, beat your guy in the net. Like you score more ugly goals this time of year than during the first 82. So if you have the better middle to bottom six guys that can outgrind the opposition,
like Tarasenko, Marcus Foligno,
McCarron, like
Tarasenko,
like
I don't think of on the grind, but he's so gifted scoring, and he's a third line guy.
Yeah, Trennian, those kind of guys that they kind of tilt a series, in my opinion, and that's the biggest thing that differs. Is space is now such at a premium, and everything's so tight that the guys that have been practicing the grind all year excel at it in the first playoff series. The game starts to open up a little bit more in series 2, 3, 4.
Last two, Cartsy, Ryan Carter. So we talked about this, the up the middle. Is it fair to say, that the Wild are deeper on the blue line, deeper with the defensemen? That's very fair, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
and experience.
Yeah. Defense wins championships. What am I missing here?
No, I agree.
It's
do
that
think,
simple, right?
I do think the Wild have the advantage on the blue line. Like Nils Lundqvist is, their top four. You look at the Wild's top four. Quinn Hughes, Brock Faber, Jared Spurgeon, Jonas Brodin, Dynamite. And then you look at their next two. It's going to be Bogosian and Middleton or Petrie, whomever it might be.
Don't they have Myers, the tall guy?
Yeah. So then what they have is Myers and Bishop. So then all of a sudden, what they have that differs are a couple of trees. They've got 6'6" and 6'7" back there.
Yeah.
But Miro being banged up, which they say it's lower body. I don't think it is. Go back, watch that video. Ryan Hartman kind of gives forearm shiver to the rib. I think it's probably middle body that's bugging him. But him being banged up a little bit, now you get these physical guys on him. Like if he's not at full strength, now the Wild really have advantage on the blue line.
My man, you got a podcast at 10 o'clock. Thank you very much for the inclusion. With the podcast, is it 7th Avenue or like what we see on FanDuel?
You got it, Wild on 7th. Yeah.
Wild on 7th. Thank you. That's sweet, man. It's very good, too. All right, have a good day.
All right, appreciate you, fellas.
Safe travels. Ryan Carter with FanDuel. He'll be analyzing. What time did you say the first game starts?
We don't know yet.
Oh, okay, so everybody's lying to us. I'm just kidding. You can watch him and or listen to it on the Fan at 2th, maybe 4th, maybe 5th, but it should be on Saturday. We'll be right back.